The Eafp podcast.
As electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub, my friend.
On the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor app. The Eafp podcast is back, everybody. Yes, I am back. Sorry for the hour delay, y'all. I'm at work, so I got to help out the students the best way I can. Wow, my hair is all types of messed up. Anyways, we're back, guys. There's nothing more to talk about this week or today other than World Cup qualifying. That's going to be on our TVs this whole entire weekend out in Europe and also here in South and North America too as well. The biggest game is tomorrow that we're going to talk about, get into a lot today. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to put an easy question for everybody today. It can be any easier than this. Who is going to win tomorrow? The United States men's national team or La Selección Mexicana? Yes, easy question. Obviously, there's a lot of injury news around the United States men's national team. Obviously, we know the news about Weston McKennie. They lost Johansson, I think, into injury too as well over the weekend. Serginho Dest too as well was injured with Barcelona. Injuries have hit the United States a lot more this upcoming World Cup, and crucial. And I'm going to tell you how crucial it is too as well, because it does matter where you end up in position-wise in the World Cup qualifying. But with the United States and Mexico tied in points, they're not going to reach Canada. I think Canada with a W or a tie at least is going to win the group. It's going to come second and third for the United States men's national team and Mexico. But also, remember this, Panama is not that far away from them knocking the door to qualify for fourth. And also Costa Rica has an advantage, or has the possibility to qualify for the fourth spot in the play-in game to qualify for the World Cup. Please excuse me. So it's a crucial game tomorrow night in Estadio Azteca between the United States men's national team and the Selección Mexicana. With, let's be honest, one team is suffering injuries and the other team is suffering. What's the right word I'm trying to look for La Selección Mexicana? Quality. I think quality is probably a good word. Cohesiveness. And I guess you can say that, the road for the Selección Mexicana is a little bit more easier because they're playing two games at home and one on the road. They got the United States men's national team for the toughest game, but then they got El Salvador and Honduras. And for the United States men's national team, their schedule is a lot more tougher because they're coming, their last three games, two of them are on the road. And the toughest one for right now, right, as we can say, the toughest one is tomorrow night against the Selección Mexicana at the Estadio Azteca. But they also play against Costa Rica, who, like I said, are they're also in the fight to qualify for the World Cup too as well. And then the other team that they also got that's going to be tough too as well is also oh my God, why am I Panama? So they got the two teams that are in the bottom half trying to qualify for this World Cup. And the Costa Rica game is on the road while they have Panama at home. And these are tough games with a very short squad. And the only reason why I say very short, right, is because the Weston McKennie injury, I think it's the biggest injury of them all. Simply because he dominates that midfield. Now, granted, look, he kind of went off on this little whatever happened to him during the beginning of the qualifying stages, but kind of came back to him. And he whatever him and Berhalter did have that conversation, kind of came back, is the stone of the midfield for the United States, and you kind of need him with Tyler Adams too as well to dominate and to boss that midfield too as well, to give the options to go up front with Christian Pulisic, Pedri, or whoever is their starting forward or they're attacking forward. They need that. They need to boss the midfielder, the back end midfield, for that creativity up in front. Losing Weston McKennie is not like losing some random. No, losing Weston McKennie is losing your whole midfield, not entire, but your midfield, because now who's going to fill in that void? And that's the question that I want to know and I want to see. And I can't wait till tomorrow what Berhalter has to do at on the road at the Estadio Azteca. Now, granted, look, I would rather have this game to be played in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Estadio Azteca when the sun's already beaming on them, and the temperature, the humidity, the smog, the elevation of the Estadio Azteca being so many feet above sea level. But yet, no, we have to cater. We have to cater to the Selección Mexicana, to these crop of players that they don't want to play in that altitude, and also just selfish, spoiled, I guess you can say. Regardless of the fact, this game is hard for me to 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 give a score line to see who's going to win or anything, because the Selección Mexicana, granted, is the biggest. This is the biggest game in this region, the CONCACAF, Mexico versus United States, right? But the Selección Mexicana to me is not up to par. The Selección Mexicana to me is lacking heart, is lacking ideas, is lacking. I guess you could say, because I'm trying to find words. And the thing is that they're so stuck in not giving young players the opportunity to play, or even just the call up. I think just the call up was just fine. Now look, I love me some Hector Herrera anytime. But he probably has a little left in the tank. But at the same time, it's just like, is it enough? Does he have enough? Does he fit well with Edson Alvarez? Does Tata Martino even know how to put this team together? That's the real question for me. Uh, Defensively, I still feel like there's a lot of like a lot of like a lot of question marks, because we know Nestor Araujo is going to be the middle, right? I personally believe Cesar Montes should be that name, that number one guy, coming up to um coming up to coming next to Nestor Araujo right there. And on the right side and the left, you got on the left, I know you got Jesus Gallardo, who I think is a phenomenal player. On the right side, you could give and take who you want. Like, people like saying Jorge Sanchez. I'm not a fan. Don't get me wrong. Look, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of Jorge Sanchez, even though he used to play or is playing for America. I'm just not that fan of him and his style of playing. Right. I know you sometimes use why am I his name is escaping from me right now. But on the right side, I've always had questions on the right side up until Chato Rodriguez came up and played that right side for me. I know there's Angulo, maybe he could probably play on the right side, but everybody's want to say that Jorge Sanchez is the right is on it. No, I honestly don't believe so. In the middle is where my question is, where it all begins, right? That's my biggest question mark right there, because I have a personal man crush on Edson Alvarez ever since he played for America, and I think he's a solid player. But in this 4-3-3 that Mexico likes to play in a lot, I do believe that to play that 4-4-3, you kind of have to have Edson be almost kind of your playmaker, but give him the liberty to but give him the liberty to free roam left to right. Right, is like, this guy's a machine. Actually, technically he's a machine, right? That's what they like to call him, at least in the Spanish announcement. But Edson Alvarez is the guy, like, if you put the ball in his feet, probably like 80% of the game, like, he'll do it right. But the one thing I have on Edson is that for some reason he loses control of the game. And the perfect example is, I guess, can say the Nations League final between them and between these two teams. You could kind of see slowly but surely him starting to lose focus on the game, and him starting to drift away, to not doing his game, to he falls under pressure. And that's the one thing I've always had a knack on him for. He's a phenomenal player to me in my book. I think he's the best, if not second best, Mexican player right now to this day, at least in my book, right? Everybody could go on here, but to me, he's the second and possibly even the best player that the Selección Mexicana or just Mexico has in general. But I just, he just, it's just the people around him is not right. I've always thought that they should kind of switch away from the 4-3-3, and I know that wants to complement Tecatito on the right and Chucky on the left, and obviously with that lone striker and Ruli Jimenez. But I feel like if you probably give them like a 4-2, and I think if you put him Edson with Luis Romo as your holding midfielders, and you kind of still put Hector Herrera not as a center attacking, but that central midfield, and have him kind of like dictate up top with other. I think you have a better possibility and a better opportunity to go ahead and attack while you're defensively you're kind of solid. You kind of leave one, go one with Edson and Luis Romo. I mean, that's just my crazy idea, my crazy tactic, right? But even then, so look, I still have questions about this team. Hector Moreno, if his time is up. I think he's just there. He's not Rafa Marquez, but he's filling those Rafa Marquez boots, right? As I go into the comments, I should just like this every show. Thanks, John. I appreciate you. He says that Mexico finna step up. Yeah, I hope so too. Look, I've always been this guy for many years. If it's United States, Mexico, in the United States, I'm normally signing for for the United States men's national team, except for a few times. And the few times that I guessed the Selección Mexicana, I've never been wrong. And every time it's in Mexico, obviously, look, the United States have never won in Mexico in a World Cup qualifying. I think, or if I'm not mistaken, I probably had that stat wrong, but I'm like a 90% sure the United States men's national team has never beaten the United States, has not beaten Mexico in Mexico. And this is where I know I'm going back and forth. I'm jumping back and forth on this because I'm about to go to the United States men's national team because they're playing 2 road games in places that they've never done well in Mexico and also in Costa Rica. And by golly, when I tell you this, that this game, this qualifying matchup, we would have thought by now that they should already been qualified, and they're not. Nobody has qualified from the CONCACAF. I know Canada has already qualified for the CONCACAF, but nobody else has stepped up and qualified second, third. This game tomorrow is going to be the last important World Cup qualifying matchup until 10 more years, give or take. And the only reason why I say that is because next World Cup in 2026 is going to be here in Mexico and Canada. Mexico, the United States, and Canada have already stepped up, are already in the World Cup. Because if you're the host, you're in the World Cup. Easy as that. You're just playing scrimmages. That's basically it. So tomorrow's game is important to who's gonna have basically the last laugh in the next 10 years. 6 to 8 years. Whatever. There's going to be a whole new crop of generational players. Now, the next time we're going to see them play, the next time we're going to see these guys play competitively, whether if it's in the Gold Cup or the Nations League, that's it. Just a tournament, a championship tournament, unless if they find each other in the World Cup for Qatar this winter. Yeah, it's weird. World Cup in the winter, right? Damn. FIFA, whatever. I honestly do believe this is going to be the last time, and I don't want this game to disappoint. But I also want to see a team dominate, and who's going to hold this conference by the neck. Now, look, this qualifying match, obviously Canada was the better team overall. They haven't lost in the qualifying stages. They haven't, and that's great. Congratulations to them. I give them all the props in the world. I did say, and I've been saying it for a while in many podcasts before, that Canada reminds me of the Costa Rica team back in 2014. That generation, that golden generation that Costa Rica had back then, that now it's the dying one because all the players have already gotten old. Now it's Canada's turn. Obviously, with Alfonso Davies being the linchpin of it all and being the anchor of that team, and him being out with his heart condition. But this team is unified. This Canadian team is unified, and I think that's why that's make them scary. And I make them scary, and obviously them qualifying to the World Cup for the first time in 20 plus years. It's a good sign, and should it be a wake up call for not only the Selección Mexicana but also for the United States men's national team, that there's more. The teams are catching up to both of them. Mexico and United States have been number one and number two for the last 15 years or so, 20 years plus, maybe. For sure 15. For sure 15 years. But it's more of an indictment for the Selección Mexicana, who kind of ran away with this conference for so long. For the CONCACAF, they ran away for so long, for more than I can remember, even when I was a little baby. Now the other teams, the other countries, the United States, the Canadas, the Costa Ricas, hell, even the Panamas, every once in a while, they have gave them a run for their money. Sometimes Jamaica has it in there, but they have given them the run for their money, not only in World Cup qualifying, but also in tournaments for Gold Cup and the Nations League. Like, they have gone to the point where it's almost in the brink of elimination. Remember back in 2014, it took a Chilena from Raul Jimenez against Panama to have them some type of hope and belief to qualify again for another World Cup. We have been, that's how far back we have to go. And it doesn't feel, it feels like a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't. So this game tomorrow between the Mexico and the United States, I have it on the chat, and I gotta, yeah, I guess I'll do my best to dress up like this. Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. The drip, I guess, is probably, that's what you guys call it. The drip. Is it the drip? Is that the new thing? Drip? No, whatever. So, guys, quick question on the comment, as this is the Eafp podcast. I know I've been ranting around for a while, and I'm going to, because these are going to be the qualifying matches. These are the last three qualifying matchups that have any type of importance until you qualify for the next 8 years, because the next World Cup is going to be here. But I put the simple question on the chat: who is going to win tomorrow between the United States men's national team or the Selección Mexicana? I want to see what you guys think. John says the drip is what your compa calls it. Yeah, right. I guess, it is what it is. So I want to know what you guys think. Who has the upper hand? Obviously, the table, as I'm looking at it right now, we have Canada in first with 25 points. Then we have the United States men's national team, and this is why I'm telling you guys that the tables the table means a lot, something, because the Mexico and the United States have been, like I said, they are tied in points. I think he looks spiffy. They're tied in points for first and second, and then Panama is right behind them for third with 17, and also Costa Rica under him with 16. And again, this is why I'm saying, like, this game means of importance, because let's just put it in this: whoever loses the game tomorrow, and let's just say Panama wins. I'm trying to figure out who Panama plays tomorrow, as I'm looking up right here in the second. Whoever Panama plays tomorrow into this World Cup qualifying, whoever loses this game and Panama wins, they're going to be a point away from that that fourth spot, that dreaded fourth spot, where you have to go play against the Oceanic Asian team to playoff spot in the summer to qualify for the World Cup, instead of qualifying automatically. So that's why not only does the game tomorrow matters of importance, of pure dominance of the CONCACAF, but it also puts pressure on them to do good the next two games. Oh, and by the way, let's just put it in hypotheticals, right? Because I love playing these hypothetical games. Let's just put it like this: that, to me, let's say that Panama does win tomorrow night against Honduras, and let's just say hypothetically that the United States men's national team throws a dud tomorrow, and Selección Mexicana takes 2 points. That all important game here, between the United States men's national team and Panama, is gonna be so crucial, because not only does the United States have to face Panama to qualify for the World Cup, to have us there, but then let's just say something happens and they both tie, and Costa Rica some way somehow wins the game tomorrow and the game Sunday. Guys, that game on Wednesday night between Costa Rica and the United States in Costa Rica is gonna be even more intense. This is why we would have thought that the United States and Mexico would probably already been into the World Cup already. But the way they have been playing, the poor performances, like you have one great game from the United States here, but a poor performance on the road. You have the Selección Mexicana who can't get it together, but puts a professional performance in Costa Rica, but performs poorly the game after. They can't score here. Like they left the door wide open for this possible scenario to happen. And I, as much as it stresses me out because near and dear, I'm more I root more for the Selección Mexicana than I do the United States men's national team. But at the same time, though, it's just like it brings the excitement in, and it just gets me motivated and gets me kind of pumped for these games tomorrow. So I do believe that it's a great possibility, and it's just gonna be a good weekend of nothing but pure football, guys, and I love it. I really, really do. This is what I dream for, having something like this. And I put the StreamYard app on here if you guys want to join me to talk some soccer too. I thought I did that earlier, but I just put the question up there. So hopefully you guys join me on this as we talk about World Cup qualifying, because these games this weekend are going to mean everything and everything this weekend. And it starts tomorrow, and it's the big one. It's the big one between the United States men's national team and the Selección Mexicana as you're listening to the Eafp podcast. Simple question. Who wins? Who comes out on top? Who's going to qualify? Are both the Selección Mexicana and the United States both going to qualify for the World Cup this weekend before the last game on Wednesday? Because the United States has the tougher road ahead of them. They go on the road twice against Mexico and Costa Rica, and they play against Panama at home. While the Selección Mexicana, their only tough game is tomorrow, and then they got Honduras and El Salvador, one on the road, one at home. So I just want to see what you guys think. Come join me on the chat. Let's talk. Let's talk a little football. The game over the weekend, though, that caught everybody by surprise, and it shouldn't have, but it really did. And I love reading on Twitter about this, especially because the Real Madrid fans and the Barcelona fans always like to go toe to toe against each other. But let's be honest, guys. This weekend, Real Madrid wore black for the first time at home in I don't know how long, and they wore it to their funeral. Let's just be completely honest here, guys. Barcelona at all phases, from goalkeeper to defensively to midfield to forward, were just on top of Real Madrid this whole entire weekend, on Sunday. And it's always the biggest game that we all are going to see, right? Outside of that, I'm also going to talk about the draw too for the Champions League before we leave off. But we're not going to talk about that until the next podcast. But it's another big news. But let's talk about the game. I've never seen a Real Madrid so disjointed. I've never seen a Real Madrid team so lost in transition, lost in the game, lost in the field. In the words of people like to say, it lost in the sauce. It's been a while since I've seen a Real Madrid play like that, and Barcelona just dominated. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. Thanks. I know it's dry. I really don't like it, but it is what it is. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment, Josh. But the game between Barcelona and Real Madrid on Sunday was just a masterclass on how Xavi. Well, not a masterclass. Let me pump my brakes. But I think Xavi got the best of Ancelotti this weekend, and I think that Xavi, what he did was he rebranded this Barcelona team, put in his set of rules. It's a stricter, it's very strict organization how he has it ran, and it showed. It literally showed on Sunday. Now look, Real Madrid is going to win, is going to run away with the league unless if they have some type of debacle towards the end, right? You know, they're like 10, 11 points somewhere clear of Barcelona, even with the win on Sunday. They're still 10 points ahead of Sevilla to win the league with 10 games to go. So they're going to run away with the title, but I think you don't lose a Clásico the way that they did. And it was mind-boggling. I was watching the goal, and to be honest, I was watching the game, and to be honest, let's be honest here, guys. Not Barcelona, Real Madrid is lucky, and are lucky, and we're lucky that it wasn't more than just 4. Let's be honest. Real Madrid was lucky that most of their finishing, from Ferran Torres to Aubameyang, they were were inside the box. They weren't as clinical as they once were. Now Aubameyang's goal with a header was a good one. That chip, thing of beauty, right? But I think everything changed when Vinicius Jr. To me it changed. when Vinicius Jr. kind of went more for the dive, trying to look for the penalty, then he tried to actually put the ball in the back of the net. And I think that kind of changed the complexity of the game, at least in my simply because you kind of knew where Real Madrid head was at for the game. And Barcelona was just all business. Now, give credit where credit's due. And you got to give credit to Xavi for putting this team how he did and performing. Even though they're in the Europa League, they look like they're taking the competition serious because they do want to win the trophy. And they're going to qualify for Champions League. And the scary thing about it, though, is that you're kind of seeing Xavi molding himself into the coach that he wants to be, and it's going to work. It's going to work, guys. Real Madrid, they're going to win the league. They got the Champions League to worry about this year too, or this season too as well. But their Champions League, their Champions League opponent is a good one. You know, it's gonna be a good one. As I'm trying to get here, and we're gonna talk about it too as well. The Champions League draw for Real Madrid is a good one, and now I don't know where their head is going to be at this time, because it's either you won the league, now let's focus on the title. But with a performance like they have, or like they have, the performance that they put out on Sunday gives me worry that they probably won't even take it to the next level in winning the Champions League. I really do believe so. I honestly do believe that that's how it's going to be, because you they I don't one player cannot have it. One player cannot be the answer, guys. Let's be honest. I know it's going to be Benzema and everything, but one player cannot have that much effect on a player. And look, they got Chelsea. Their minds shouldn't have been Champions League, because you had this international break, and you don't want to go on an international break losing 4-0 against Barcelona. Wait a whole week and a half. Champions League right around the corner, and you go on the road. I think it's on the road. I think their first game is on the road against Chelsea. We'll talk about it when it comes more on a later podcast in the Eafp. But the draws were out, man. Chelsea got Real Madrid. Chelsea got Real Madrid. Bayern Munich got Villarreal. Liverpool got Benfica, and Atletico Madrid got Manchester City. Draws are going to be great. We'll talk about that more in length on future podcasts. But those were the picks on Friday, right? And the Europa League, I'll give you guys on another podcast too as well, because I can't find that right now. Sorry, that's bad on me. But yeah, guys, let's have a watch party tomorrow, 9:00 somewhere. Should I go live? Should I go live watching the? Nah, they'll block me off of Facebook, right? But how about this? I'm gonna give everybody a special edition Eafp podcast tomorrow after the Selección Mexicana and the United States men's national team play at 9:00. So it's gonna be an 11:00 game. I'm gonna be posting it up on all the social media platforms, on our Instagram, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on the JCA, on the John Conavi Facebook, on our all the platforms they have, Twitter. The Eafp podcast will have a live edition at home of the breakdown between the United States men's national team and the Selección Mexicana. So join me tomorrow at 11:05. I'll give you guys 5 minutes, whatever. But 11:05, and I think I might do that for every game this week too as well. There's a special podcast tomorrow. There's a special podcast on Sunday, and then we're gonna do the pre-matches and then talk about a little bit more too as well. Pre-matches next Wednesday is the regular Eafp podcast. So be on the lookout. Live shows this week. Live show tomorrow. Live show Sunday. And obviously the live show, the Eafp podcast on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. So you guys are going to see a lot of the Eafp podcast coming out this weekend for sure. Guys, thank you to my girl Laura. Thank you to John, to Josh, and everybody else who's been watching and commenting too as well. The Eafp podcast is over for now. You'll see me again on Sunday. I'll be live here on Sunday. I'm sorry. I'm lying to you guys again. I'll be live tomorrow. I'll see you guys mañana at night, 11:00, right after the game. We'll be on for 10-15 minutes. I want to get you guys' thoughts of the game. get you guys what you guys thought of the game. I'll break down on everything, make it a 15-20 minutes because I know we got to go to work the next day. Some people work. I don't on Fridays. Yeah. I know people work on Friday, so we're going to get that. If you're on spring break, join me. We'll probably last it longer than that. We'll see. Talk about more football tomorrow, more football on Sunday, more football next Wednesday on the Eafp podcast. Be on the lookout for another show tonight, the Sports Drip Live here. Jose and his brother Ricky too as well will be on. And also, just like this again, or I'm not watching. Okay, fine, I guess. The Sports Drip Live show between the two Contreras brothers will be on at 8 o'clock within the next 30 minutes. And I will be back on the JCA Sports podcast at 9 o'clock with John and Jose talking about sports and breaking news today. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Don't miss it. We're going to post game of the United States men's national team and the Selección Mexicana. So I'm going to be on there, English and Spanish. How about that? We'll do it bilingual, guys. So it's gonna be real good. I'll see you guys then. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, let's talk trash between the games, and let's go. Vamos Mexico. Yep, Mexico's winning tomorrow. That's my pick. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Scrooge smile with the quality of his goal.
See you later.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
He's intolerable.